Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. This is your first upload out of two for today. Yes, you're getting a double upload. So you're welcome. You're going to be getting this video right now, then you're getting the Chelsea Crystal Palace preview later today. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that one. Before we get into it, I want to let you know, you guys demanded it. You guys asked for it. So I am giving it to you. You wanted Fantasy Premier League. You wanted a league of this channel being done so all of you can compete against each other alongside myself. And I've created it. Yes, link in the description. Use the code in the description. If you join the league, you will be in contention for maybe a giveaway at the end of it. Maybe I'll give something to the winner if it's not me, of course. You know, if I win the league, then I'm sorry. But I'm sure all of you have your fantasy teams ready to start. Obviously, the league starts today. So make sure after watching this video, you head into the Fantasy Premier League website. Join the YTF League, which is what I've called it, using the code in the description. I'll leave it in the comments for you guys as well. So let's get into my Premier League predictions and how I think this season is going to end. I've thought about this hard. It's been difficult. Now, I'd done this last year and I got it very wrong. And I said it in the video. I knew I was going to get it very wrong. Everyone does. But last year I put Chelsea to win the league for the banter. I put Chelsea to win the league because I thought, yeah, you know what? I'm going to get this wrong anyway. So I might as well put Chelsea win the league. This year, it's a little different. I've thought it through. I've really tried to calculate things out. I've really tried to put things into perspective. And I'm going to give you my reasoning. So without further ado, we'll start off from the bottom, who I think is going to get relegated. And we'll work our way up. So to start off with the bottom three. The bottom three, I have gone with... I've gone with Watford to finish bottom. I just don't see how they're really going to make much of an impact when I look at all the other teams around that area of the table. I'm going to put them bottom. There's not much business being done with Watford. Yes, they're promoted and congrats to them, much like the other teams of Brentford and Norwich that have made it up. But Watford, I just see as the weakest out of the three right now. So I've put them bottom of the league. I've put Burnley in 19th, and yes, I think they're going down. I think the crazy thing that no one's expected to happen is going to happen. Sean Dyche has kept Burnley in the Premier League for so long, right? He's just kept them afloat. He's not done much with them. He's just kept them surviving. I think the survival ends this season. I think it does. And I'll explain why when I give the reasoning to the other teams above. But I just don't see how Burnley will compete. And I think that's why this time they will dip into the relegation zone. They will finish 19th and they will go down. Now, that's my prediction. You never know. Sean Dyche might pull it out of the bag. He might actually get Burnley to stay up again. But I think this season is where it ends. After a long spell of survival, the head comes off this year. I've put Brentford in 18th, and I didn't want to put them in 18th because I genuinely think they have a decent team. They've got great players. They've got Tony up top now, who is going to bring so much charisma and character to the Premier League. I don't want to sound like Brendan Rodgers, but honestly, I think it's going to be fantastic watching Brentford. I think they've got a spirit of really nothing to lose. No one expected them to make it to the Premier League. They almost made it last season. They didn't. They've managed to make it this season. Congrats to them. And it's so good to have them in the Premier League now. It helps Chelsea because they're only down the road, so it's not really a long trip to go and play an away game at Brentford. But Brentford, decent team. And I got torn between them and Norwich. I've put Norwich as 17th, and I've put Norwich as 17th because of the transfers that they've been getting up to. Some of the business that I see Norwich doing, very, very good business. Very good business. And just from a Chelsea perspective, I see Billy Gilmore that's out on loan there now, and I think, you know what? I think there's going to be serious development, not just for him, but for Norwich, and for the way I think that team is going to gel is going to be bonded better than what I see Brentford doing. And that's why I've had to put Norwich just above Brentford. If it wasn't for the transfers that I've seen Norwich do and the good business that they've had, I would have switched it. And I would have put Brentford to survive and Norwich to go down. And I know a lot of people have put Norwich to go down, but I'm putting Brentford to go down as much as I don't want them to go down. I want them to stay up. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I've put Norwich 17th, as I've already explained. I don't see them really going above the teams that I've put above them. You know, I've put Newcastle in 16th. Newcastle are struggling. Let's have it right. I haven't met one optimistic Newcastle fan. Not one. I haven't seen one, let alone talked to one. And I can see why. The team's in disarray, but I still think there's just enough quality for them to stay up. You know, Newcastle don't have a rubbish team. They have good individuality. They have a good setup. They just have Steve Bruce managing. They've got Mike Ashley running that club. Doesn't know what he's doing. And if they change those two aspects, I think they'd be a much better team. But for Newcastle, for me, still survive. I struggle to see how they would go down. When you look at teams like, you know, Watford or even a Burnley, I've put Brentford, Norwich. I still think Newcastle, in terms of on paper, are stronger than them. So I have to put them in 16th. I've put Wolves in 15th. Wolves, similar story. I think, you know what, they've got a decent team. They're solid. They're solid. They're not fantastic, but they're solid. And I think you look at what they done under Nuno 2 years ago, where they outperformed, and I think they outperformed quite a lot of teams. But you know what, I think they overachieved. I think a lot of people thought that they were better than what they actually were, and that was proven last season. Last season they struggled, and it was just not the same Wolves team. And I think this season we're going to get more of the same, but not really much enough to go into relegation. I think it's just going to be Wolves hovering around 14, 15, 16 for the whole season, and then eventually they'll finish 15. So that's the logic that I've used for them. Brighton, this will be very interesting to see how they do, because they've got a very decent team. I know a lot of eyes are going to be on Bissouma for this season, so we'll see how he does. But Brighton, look, they play good football. I like Brighton and the way that they get things done. They're a very simple club. Less is more with Brighton. And last season they got some good results, especially against big opposition. And I expect more of the same, but not enough consistency for them to be able to get into the top half of the table. So I've put them in 14th. Everton I've put into 13th. And I'll be honest, I don't really see how that team improves. Everton under Ancelotti, I think there was a project. I think there was a vision. I think there was, a direction that they wanted to go in, but Ancelotti couldn't get the best out of those players. The players couldn't get the best out of themselves. Eventually, Ancelotti just bounced. No one expected him to leave the way he did. He got one call from Perez at Real Madrid. He was like, yeah, see you later, I'm out. And he just bounced, You can't have that. You can't have that. And I think that's caused a little bit of disarray. Rafa Benitez coming into Everton. Yes, decent manager. Is he going to get them clicking? Maybe, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think the hostility from the fans, I think the fans they definitely don't like Rafa. With the whole Liverpool history there, I've already heard Everton fans call him a fat Spanish waiter. Listen, I've seen Chelsea fans do that in the past. I probably was one of them in the past. But he actually ended up doing quite good with that Chelsea team, and fair play to Rafa for that. And that's why I think I have respect for Rafa, and I see what he's done, and he's a decent manager. But with Everton and getting that team to play, I think it's going to take him time, and he's not going to hit the ground running. This first season in Everton, I think it's just going to be a mediocre season, and then if they decide to keep going with the project, then maybe they might improve. But for this season, I'm going 13th. I've put Southampton 12th, and I've put Southampton 12th. Southampton have a team that I believe can do better than 12th. But I think the other teams have done better business, even though Southampton have actually done good business. But they've got quite a lot of loan players in. Just from a Chelsea point of view, they've got Livramento in, they've got Broja in. Those are two names that are very highly respected in terms of youth talent at Chelsea. So we'll see how they perform at Southampton. But I honestly don't know. I don't know with Southampton. I don't know whether we're going to get a Southampton that gels and uses the signings that they've made and performs very well. There's the whole thing of Danny Ings, and I'll get to him in a sec. But have they compensated for that? Have they got enough talent in that team to be able to try and get into the top half of the table? I think they might just struggle a little bit despite having a decent setup. So I've put them mid-table, and I've put them to hover around that 10th, 11th, 12th margin, and then eventually finish 12th. I've put Crystal Palace as 11th, and Crystal Palace are a team I'm looking forward to watching very, very much. Patrick Vieira as their new manager. You've seen some of the players that they've brought in. I mean, flipping hell, it's like a little tsunami that's taken over South London in terms of Palace and what their project is looking to do now. Honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing how Vieira is going to get this team bonded, how he's going to get them playing. No one knows. Really, no one knows. No one knows what this Palace team are going to do or what they're capable of. Because it's a new team, it's a new manager, no one's seen them before. We'll see what happens. It's as simple as that. But I think that it might start off a little slow, and then it will pick up. The team will gel. Eventually, they'll get up and running, and I think they'll finish 11th. So I've put them 11th. Not really to break into the top half of the table. They're not there yet. But I think they're going to set up a good foundation for them to work into next season, hopefully getting themselves into the top half of the table. Now, 10th is a very interesting one. And I'm probably going to get a bit of slack for this. I've put Arsenal. I'm not going to lie. And you guys are probably laughing now. I've put Arsenal in 10th. I think it's going to be a shambolic season for them. I really do. And I'm being honest here. I'm not trying to mock. I'm not trying to banter. I'm being real. I look at the teams that I've put above them, and I can understand why I've put them above them. I don't think Arsenal are better than the teams that I've put above them. Simple. And that's why I've stuck them 10th. I done this table from top to bottom. So when I looked at the teams that I believed would make the top 8 and top 9, I looked at Arsenal and thought, they're not better. And when you look at the business that's been done, yeah, they bought Ben White. They've bought a couple of other lads, but is that enough? No. Arsenal desperately need a creative midfielder, someone that is going to be that talisman. They haven't got one. And you look at the struggles of Aubameyang. You look at the struggles of a Lacazette. You look at the front line at Arsenal is completely discombobulate. If that's even a word. Arteta doesn't know how to get the best out of him. The club don't know how to spend money. Edu, I think their director, doesn't have a Scooby. He's off having barbecues in the middle of the summer when he should be getting business done. It's a shambles at Arsenal. And that's why I think they're going to go even further down. Despite not playing any European competition, they're going to go from 8th to 10th. And I'll explain why. Because above them, I've put Leeds. Leeds in 9th. Leeds are a very good project. Bielsa has just signed a new deal. It's going to be interesting to see how they manage to get their defence structured, because they've got everything else. Moving the ball quickly, getting goals, being able to create tons of chances. Leeds do it, but they can't defend well. If they've sorted that problem out, they will improve. And that's why I've stuck them 9th, because I think that they will. Not enough for them to get into the European places, but I think we'll see improvement from Leeds, and I think we'll see some tightening up at the back, and that's why I've put them above Arsenal. I've put them 9th in a very respectable position. So we'll see how they do. I've put West Ham 8th. West Ham had a very good season last season. Very unpredictable. No one expected them to get 6th. But I look at the teams and the business that's been done, and it's tough to stick West Ham in 6th again. It's tough, and that's why I've knocked them down a peg. I've stuck them in 8th. Maybe they should go 7th, if I'm being completely honest, because in 7th I've put Tottenham. And to be honest, I think Harry Kane's going. If Harry Kane goes, Tottenham are finished. As far as I'm concerned, Tottenham are finished. They just won't be enough there for them to do anything. Where's it all going to come from? Son? By himself? No. Harry Kane and Son come as a package as far as I'm concerned. I believe Harry Kane can go off and do it himself. He'll have tons of talent at Man City around him, so he'll be fine. His Son replacement will be there. But Son's Kane replacement won't. And that's the problem. And that's why I think Son might just feel like he's a one-man show. And if you mark Son out of a game, you've nullified Tottenham. And you look at Nuno, and it's basically Jose light. Chelsea played the pre-season game against them. They haven't changed. They have not changed. They're still defensive. They're still trying to play on the counter. They're still trying to be solid at the back, even though they're not, and then trying to get an attack going there. They're not creating enough chances. I don't see it. If they let go of Harry Kane, who's clearly unhappy, clearly wants to go. And you know what? This is what I've stuck Tottenham in 7th, because I believe that, yeah, they might perform badly, but not that badly, because they still have good players. Let's have it right. So that's why I put them 7th. But I don't know. West Ham above them? Let me know in the comments if you think I should switch Tottenham and West Ham. Maybe. In 6th, I've put Aston Villa. Aston Villa have done tremendous business. Their transfer window has been second to none. Absolutely fantastic. You know, they got rid of Grealish. They got 100 million in. And fair play, because Grealish wanted the project. There was a release clause. You know, Aston Villa respected his word. He respected Aston Villa's. It's as simple as that. They came to an agreement. City came in for him. He went, and boom, 100 million. But what have they done with that 100 million? They've spent it brilliantly. Buendia, you know, Danny Ings and Danny Ings. Danny Ings is where I think the goals are going to come from. I think Aston Villa already had a very good team. They were very solid at the back. They had enough to be able to create loads of chances. And I think now with the additions that they've made, surely they improve. Surely they improve. And I think, especially with the attacking flair that they have now, when you look at the way that I think Buendia and Danny Ings are going to link up, I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that is going to pan out. So that is why I've put them in 6th, in contention for a European spot, but not good enough compared to the teams above them. In 5th, I've gone with Leicester. And you know what? Leicester as well have had a fantastic transfer window. Last season, they finished 5th. Just because of the final day. Thank you, Tottenham, because Chelsea got top 4 because of it. But look, Leicester, it's tough to put them in the top 4. They deserve to be in the top 4, but it's tough to put them in the top 4 because do I believe they're stronger than a Liverpool, than a City, than a Chelsea, than a United? No. No. And that's why I've had to stick them in 5th, but they deserve to be in the top 4. So we'll see if they can break into it. We'll see. I believe they have the team. They have the manager. Brendan Rodgers has done fantastic. They have everything in their power to do so. But do I think they're going to do it? It's tough to say yes. It's tough. I think they'll finish 5th. In 4th, I've gone with Liverpool. And I've gone with them because even last season, with the team that Man United had, Liverpool finished behind. And with the additions that Man United have made, are Liverpool really going to get past that? I don't think Liverpool are going to cause much hassle, if I'm being completely real with all of you. Yes, Van Dijk is back. Will he, set the ground running? Maybe. But does that Liverpool team scare me? No. I think last season proved that, to an extent, they've been figured out a little bit under Klopp. He's going to have to change a few things, tactically, for them to try and get one step ahead. I don't think they're going to do that. So that's why I've stuck them in the top 4 to finish 4th respectfully. But 3rd, I've gone with Man United. And you're probably thinking, hey, they've made signings, but they're going to fall behind? Yes, because the 2 teams above them have done fantastic business, are stronger, are much more powerful. And that's why I've had to stick United in 3rd, despite them getting Sancho, despite them getting Varane, despite them still having Cavani, despite them, making these additions and having a very decent team. Oli, I think, holds them back. And if they were to change manager, we can then talk about them being title contenders. But for now, under Oli, nah, not just yet. We'll see how he does, though. We'll see if he proves me wrong. Now, in terms of the top 2, this is the big one, isn't it? Because who's going to win the title? I'm not going to say who's going to finish 2nd. I'm going to say who's going to finish 1st. I've put Chelsea to win the league. I'm not going to lie. And yes, there's probably a bit of bias there, but I've put Chelsea to win the league because European champions, a whole season under Thomas Tuchel now. He came in and he done fantastic with what he had. Now he's got his Lukaku. And I can't wait to see. And I think there's going to be more additions. I think Koundé is going to be coming in. And I think there's going to be an additional midfielder. We'll see what happens. But with Man City just buying Grealish, and fair play, fantastic. They're going to look like they're going to get Harry Kane. We'll see. But that's 250 million spent on 2 players. I mean, it's unbelievable. Is that going to make a difference? Yes. Are they beatable? Yes. Chelsea beat Man City 3 times in 6 weeks towards the end of last season. And yes, that's without Grealish, that's without Harry Kane. Cool, I get that. But I think Thomas Tuchel is shrewd and wise enough to know exactly what he has to do and what his team has to do to beat Man City. Now, the only thing is, can they do it consistently? I think under Thomas Tuchel this season, with the players that Chelsea have, yes, I think they will do it consistently over 38 games. Man City will do it consistently. But I think with the fact of those head-to-heads, those big games, Chelsea definitely, I think, will get the upper hand over Man City, and that's why I've put them to win the title. We'll see, though, because I know there's a little bit of bias as a Chelsea supporter, but I truly believe that Chelsea have what it takes to finally win that Premier League title after 4 or 5 years now. We'll see, but since 2017. So, yeah, I've put Man City to finish 2nd. Very, very, very strong team. We'll see, but it's going to be a tight race between those two. One of those two will win the Premier League title, and if it's not one of those two, I will be surprised. But there we are. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's my Premier League predictions. Let me know what your predictions are. I'd love to hear it. Don't forget to join the Fantasy League, link in the description, and in the comments as well in terms of the code. Make sure you join, and let's get this bad boy started. Let me know what you think. Thank you all so much. Hit that subscribe button if you are new. Hit that notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this. I'll see all of you later for video number 2. Have a good one. See you later. Take care and peace.